People often say that the greatest shocks in life come from the people you think you already know. And for Marcus Hale, billionaire, empire builder, and a man feared by every corporate leader in the city, nothing proved this truth more painfully than the night he enacted a cruel plan behind the closed doors of his penthouse, a plan he would later refer to as "he pretended to sleep to test his maid." What he saw left him frozen. Marcus had spent his life analyzing people, breaking competitors, manipulating markets, and controlling his world with ruthless precision. But he never expected that the real mystery in his life lived quietly in his own home. And her name was Angela. The grand penthouse of Marcus Hale towered above the glittering city like a silent kingdom. Every wall was lined with rare paintings. Every surface gleamed with polished gold accents. Every room carried the cold, quiet dignity of wealth. But inside Marcus, there was a darkness money could not ease. Loneliness, suspicion, a constant fear that every person around him greedily wanted something from him. His staff obeyed him. His executives adored and feared him. His security guarded him. But none of them truly knew him. No one except, perhaps, the one person he barely acknowledged. His maid, Angela. 7 years she had worked there. 7 years of near silence, near invisibility, near perfection. And tonight, Marcus could not shake one question. Does she really care? Or is she only pretending? His mind twisted with doubt until a reckless, pride-filled idea took shape. A test. A cruel test. One that would change everything. Marcus dragged a chair to his bedroom doorway and sat in it. He leaned back, head tilted, breathing slow, pretending to be unconscious. Or worse. His heartbeat thundered in his ears as he waited. Minutes passed, silence, then footsteps, soft, rhythmic, calm. Angela entered, humming gently. She didn't see him at first. She dusted the shelves, adjusted the curtains, straightened the sheets. Everything she did was purposeful, quiet, graceful. Then she turned. She froze. "Mr. Hale?" No answer. She stepped closer. "Sir?" Her voice trembled. She touched his wrist, checking for a pulse, gentle, careful, terrified. When she felt the steady rhythm of his heartbeat, her shoulders softened and she whispered, "Thank God. I thought something had happened to you." Marcus felt something strange tug at his chest. No one had spoken to him like that in years. Not as a boss, not as a billionaire, but as a human being. Angela lifted a blanket and placed it over him, smoothing it gently. "You work too hard, sir. You need rest." Her words pierced him deeper than he expected. It took everything inside him to keep his eyes closed. She checked his forehead. "You're burning up. I need to get your medicine." Marcus's eyes opened. Angela gasped softly. "You're awake." Even then, even startled, even caught caring more than she should, her concern did not fade. Marcus had tested thousands of people in his life. No one had passed as gracefully as Angela. And yet, he still doubted. His pride would not let him trust her so easily. So he planned another test. Marcus lay in bed the next evening, pretending again. Angela entered quietly and moved toward him with deliberate care. "Sir, please don't do this," she whispered. "Pretending like this is dangerous." He remained still. She adjusted his pillow, pulled the blanket over him, placed a cool cloth on his forehead. Then, and this startled him, she leaned closer and whispered, "I've known you longer than anyone else in this house. I see the good in you, even when you don't. I care about you, Marcus, not the billionaire. You." Her voice shook slightly, not out of fear, but out of sincerity. Marcus felt his world tilt, He had spent decades building an empire, yet not once had anyone spoken to him like that. Over the next few days, Marcus tested her again and again. Faked injuries, faked fever, faked weakness. Every time, Angela cared for him with the same patience, the same soft touches, the same quiet dedication. But then, something happened that shattered everything he thought he knew. As she tended to him one evening, Angela's phone vibrated. She tried to ignore it, but the message flashed bright enough for Marcus to catch a glimpse. Everything is ready. She must not fail. A chill slid down his spine. Who was she? Fail what? What was ready? Angela quickly set her phone down, her expression unreadable for the first time in years. "You should rest," she whispered. But Marcus did not rest. He lay awake until dawn, the message burning in his mind. Angela. Gentle, quiet, loyal Angela. Hiding something? Something big. Something dangerous. The next morning, Marcus decided to push further. "Angela," he said casually, "bring me the silver tray from the cupboard." She did, flawlessly. Later, "There's a package in the safe. Retrieve it." Angela paused. "Sir, the safe is off limits." "I trust you." She took a breath, stepped forward, entered the code with perfect precision. Marcus's blood ran cold. How do you know that combination?" Angela didn't answer. She simply handed him the package and returned to work like nothing unusual had happened. Marcus stared at her, stunned. Her posture, her reflexes, her calmness under pressure. This wasn't a maid. This was someone trained, someone dangerous, and he was beginning to suspect. Someone powerful. That evening, Angela finished her chores and walked downstairs. Marcus waited until she disappeared into the basement, a place she never went before. He followed, quietly, carefully. Angela approached a laundry rack, pressed a hidden panel. The wall slid open. Marcus's breath hitched. Behind it was a massive, high-tech room, computers humming, maps pinned with coordinates, blueprints, photographs of unfamiliar people, a team of silent workers. This wasn't a basement. This was an operations center. Angela turned sharply. "Mr. Hale," she said calmly, "you weren't supposed to see this." Her voice, gentle but commanding, made him freeze. He stepped inside slowly. "Angela, what is this?" She took a breath, then finally said the words that shattered his entire reality. "I'm not just a maid, sir. I never was." Angela closed the secret door behind him and gestured toward the screens. "For years, I worked in covert government intelligence, special operations, unseen missions, investigations, protection, extraction, everything classified." Marcus's mouth fell open. But why here? Why pretending to be a maid? Angela smiled faintly. "Because the most protected place is often the one no one sees. A maid is invisible. People talk in front of a maid. People ignore a maid. A maid can move through any room, hear any secret, observe any detail." She walked closer, her eyes steady. "I retired, or I tried to, after a mission went wrong, after I lost people I cared about." Her voice softened. "This job let me disappear. Then why stay here? With me?" Marcus whispered. Angela looked at him, truly looked. "Because you needed someone who cared without wanting anything in return. I saw a man drowning beneath power, wealth, and loneliness. A man who needed someone to protect him. And I chose to stay." Marcus felt something inside him crack. His suspicion, his pride, his arrogance, all of it shattered. This woman, this quiet maid, had been guarding him for years, without ever asking for recognition, reward, or power. She had cared for him more deeply than anyone else in his life, and he had tested her, judged her, doubted her. He suddenly felt ashamed. Angela handed him a folder. Inside, photographs, documents, blueprints, profiles of corrupt politicians, criminals, traffickers, and corporate giants. These people believe they're untouchable, Angela explained. I've spent years gathering evidence, quietly, carefully. Some of these people are under investigation right now because of what I discovered. Marcus's jaw tightened. You've done all this while cleaning my floors? Angela nodded calmly. Yes, loyalty isn't about the job, sir. It's about who you choose to protect when no one is watching. Her words hit him harder than any accusation. Marcus stared at her, the woman he had underestimated for nearly a decade, and felt something new. Respect. Deep, profound respect. Marcus stepped closer, the folder trembling in his hand. I misjudged you, he whispered. I was cruel, suspicious, blind, and you still protected me. Angela's expression softened. Learning is never a weakness, sir. Recognizing the truth is the first step. Marcus extended his hand, not as a billionaire, not as a boss, but as a man acknowledging someone far greater than himself. Thank you, Angela, for everything. Angela hesitated, then accepted. And in that handshake, a bond formed. One built on truth, respect, and something Marcus had never known before. Humility. The next morning, Marcus called all his staff and board members into the main hall. He stood tall, but his voice carried something softer, something unfamiliar. Sincerity. I've made mistakes, he began. Big ones. There is someone here you all underestimated. Someone who has shown more courage, intelligence, and loyalty than anyone I've ever known. Everyone watched him. Marcus turned toward Angela. She has protected this household more than any security team. She has cared for me more than any doctor, advisor, or associate. From today onward, Angela will not be treated as invisible. She is the most valuable person in this entire penthouse. Gasps filled the room. Whispers spread. But one thing was clear. The days of underestimating Angela were over. Later that night, Marcus approached Angela on the balcony. You changed my life, he admitted. Everything I thought I knew about trust, loyalty, and strength, you proved wrong. Angela smiled. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones everyone overlooks. He exhaled. I used to think my world was unshakable. But the truth is, the thing that left me frozen wasn't your skills. It was your loyalty. Angela looked at him with quiet warmth. Loyalty is a choice, sir. And I chose you. Marcus swallowed, emotion tightening his throat. And I'm grateful. She nodded. Then that is enough. That night, as Marcus watched the city lights reflect on the glass windows of his penthouse, he realized something profound. The most powerful transformation in his life did not come from wealth, power, or influence. It came from a woman he once believed was invisible. A woman who proved that true worth is often hidden behind the smallest roles. A woman whose loyalty reshaped his entire world. And he finally understood why the unforgettable chapter of his life would always be called, He Pretended to Sleep to Test His Maid. What he saw left him frozen.